up, everybody? Day 3, which in Vegas terms is like day 27, right. At the NAB booth, NAB 2018. I'm here with Sabour Amirazodi. Did I say that right?
You said it right.
All right, cool. I've been practicing. He just finished up his second presentation of the show, so you're finally done, right?
I can relax. This is nerve-wracking, but everyone here has been amazing about calming my nerves and making sure that I was going to give me some cool tips and telling me like how to keep everything calm. And yeah, it's been great. You guys have been great.
Is this your first time presenting?
Yes. This is my first time.
Excellent. You did so well. Like I told you earlier, it's like you have done tutorials your whole life, and or you were practicing for this moment your whole life, and here it finally came, and you took it by the whatever.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it felt much better the second time. But again, it's because everyone's been giving me so many amazing tips and really calming me down. I did notice that we're presenting to people that are all on our side. So even if I screw up and throw up all over my face, they're all going to be like, oh, that sucks. I feel for you. You know what I mean? It's like we really are surrounded by people that are on our side.
You don't want to puke on stage, though, because you'll always be known as the guy who puked at NAB.
I almost feel like that needs to be a goal now. Next year, I'm going to puke on that podium.
See, but then you're leaving a legacy behind, you know.
Huh? See? See? You see my method. Right. Method of the madness.
I see where you are. I see where you are. That's more work. I bring in more work. Dude, I'm the guy who puked at NAB.
I'm the guy who pukes.
All right. Now, on to MoGraph. So I love your presentation. Like, the stuff you're creating is super clean. Like, very, very clean. Like, especially, I love the time machine thing. I thought the concept behind the time machine thing was really cool. Was it your idea to bring in the Pioneer DJ thing, or was that theirs?
So all the guideline was to create a time travel experience that took us back into different milestones of the history of that product. And originally the idea was going through different cities. So going to 1996, which was the first CDJ model, and then jumping to the future, and then jumping to the present, and then somehow glitching, and then going all the way back to prehistoric time. So the idea was just that. And then for me, I thought two things. One, I'm trying to save from rendering an entire front view. Because I'm trying to get this project done.
And it's across, for those who didn't see the presentation, it's across what, 11 screens all around you inside this store. It's incredible.
And it was nerve-wracking because we're trying to figure out a way to get this all rendered out. I say we. I'm trying to figure out a way to get this rendered out in a reasonable amount of time so I can go home to my family. So I came up with the idea of using their CDJ, the brand new CDJ model, which is like a turntable thing. And they provided me with a 3D model. I pitched the idea. I said, hey, it might be kind of cool if we do this. And the cool thing about Pioneer is those guys, basically the first year I did this, they're like, okay, he's not an idiot. Maybe we can give him some freedom. So they gave me some freedom the second year, and they kind of trusted a lot of the judgments I made. And one of them was, I think it'd be cool to have this time machine, very dark brown, very Back to the Future-esque. So I just added a bunch of stuff on it and made that the central point, and also the driving factor that showed people that we're going back in the time, because it's not always necessarily noticeable that the context is we're going back in the time. There's so many different visual elements that we added in there, where the billboards all changed. There's a car that sat there that was a 1996 Mustang that turned into a BMW M4, brand new, then turned into a floating hovercraft, and then back in the time it just was a rock with wheels on it. But it was
hilarious.
But it's all these little aspects, and like the billboard in the back was a billboard that showed every single one of the models, and then in the future it was like a hovering holographic billboard, and then in the past it was literally a rock with a bigger boulder on top of it, and it looked like it was the exact same shape. So it was a lot of those elements that people aren't necessarily ever probably going to notice, but that's why I think it was important to have one central piece that we can always reference to for context. That said the year.
I mean, it's cool because, like, you know, you're building these 11 different screens. So, you know, if you're just building, the main one as the main thing and the driving factor, like adding those little elements helps them reference kind of like what's going on.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's fun because I mean we're all used to making some really cool stuff, and unfortunately it's the same medium. And then even more unfortunate is when you create and spend so much time fixating on every single pixel, and then you show your friends or your wife or your mom or your dad or your best buddy, and he views it. He's like, "Oh my God, I totally saw it. It's pretty cool. I watched it on my iPhone." I'm like, "Oh, you watched it on the iPhone." But seeing it in a huge environment, seeing it in a massive space. That's just really cool to me, and that really got me excited because now I can kind of invite my friends over and say, hey, you guys could go check out that booth or check out that concert or go check out something, and you'll be able to see the work in a much larger scale. I think that's rad.
Yeah, and like I love that you brought in a 360 camera. Like you took 360 video of the whole thing. Like that was cool. That was like an interesting way to show it off because across 11 screens, that's very difficult. It was a good way to do it within your presentation.
Thank you. It was actually kind of fun because it's like, hey, and we get to play with 360 toys. You know, like yeah. So it's just an excuse to have to buy a 360 camera so we can shoot it.
Yeah. So I gotta say, like, you know, watching the presentation and stuff, and like this may be across the board with, you know, most motion designers and stuff like that, but you made this beautiful work and you made it look really easy to do. You know, like the I watched the pirate ship stuff and I'm thinking, okay, he's got to do some sort of Houdini sim, you know, along with some whitewater stuff and then whatever. But no, it's just simple hot 4D, you know, pirate ship on a vibrate tag.
And you know, to everyone else's credit, I only made it look. Thank you for saying it. I made it look easy because I feel like that's a compliment. But to everyone else's credit, I feel like it looked easy only because you guys, Grayscale Gorilla, all these talented people around us have put in the hours and put in the experimentation and put in the time to play with cinema and really teach someone like me how to take those shortcuts and how to get to that result by teaching and by experimenting. You know, the Chris's, the Nicks, the guys that are literally in the trenches and playing with the tools. That's so valuable to this community that I think it's always going to be understated. And for that, I'm greatly thankful for all these guys. I'm just the guy who's using all the tools.
Me too.
Yeah, right? High fives.
All right, where can people find you online?
You know, honestly, I have a company called 7th Stream Media. So I have a website. It's a terrible one because I just literally started making it right before NAB. That's one thing I suck at is marketing myself, but somehow I still keep getting work. But I gotta work on that marketing part, you know. So
I'll share some pointers with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, my email sabour7@me.com. That's a good one to start, and then I'll come up with another one afterwards. Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it. More from the NAB 2018 floor at the Maxon booth. We'll see you guys soon.